Hey guys, welcome to the last video this week. We're going to learn about the Xcode. So how to get started, just come up here and type in Xcode. We're all using Xcode, so that's good. You get this nice little menu here. I'm going to do create a new Xcode project. And you have a slew of options that you could choose from. At the top here, you can choose whether you're doing a watch, whether you're doing a TV, and so forth. In this case, we're just going to do iOS and choose single view app and hit next. You want to put the name of your product name in here. In this case right here, I'll just call it my first app. Your name, whoever's on your team. This one we will, once we, whatever application we do, however we do it, we'll put our group name or whatever here. Organization name, in this case, I'm just going to put PPU. In this case, it's going to be the same thing as Android. I'll put PPU dot my name. Same thing as Android, you choose Kotlin or Java. In this case, we choose Swift over Objective-C. You have the Swift UI and Storyboard. I haven't played with the Swift UI, so I don't know what that's like yet. So I'm just going to choose the Storyboard. And I'm going to leave all this stuff blank and hit next. Test apps, that's fine. I'll create a new folder and I'll call it my first app. And it creates the Git repository on the Mac, but we'll also have our own repo. That's fine. Perfect. So there's a lot to kind of explain here within Apple. This is the main area that pops up. If you notice here, this menu right here looks very similar to iTunes. So if you've ever used iTunes, this looks like iTunes almost. This right here is our project, and these are a lot of different things that are going on. So main thing is the identity. Is the name of the app that we just put. Version, you can change version numbers, build numbers. Deployments, where we looking to target. You could choose what iOS that you're looking for. We'll just keep it 13.2. iPhone and iPad, I'm sure this will change soon once the iPad OS is available. You could do Mac as well. Interface, we're just choosing main. You could choose what type of landscape that you want. If you want a portrait, if you want to be able to make it work landscape, the whole 9 yards you could select. I'm just going to keep it as is. App icons at the bottom, you'll be able to choose your app icon once we have an app icon, and so forth. Click on first project. This gives configuration information. We'll go through that later, but it's just a rough idea. It has your build settings. It lists your architecture, options, deployment, packaging. There's a slew of things here that I'm not going to go through. Not now, at least. There's a slew of different things that you can do here. Swift packages. But this right here will become very important once we're ready to push our app to the App Store at that time. This over here are just different options that we have available, and this will change and so forth. At the top up here is just your options, your basic header, your debug, navigate, view, Xcode preferences, so forth. So there's a ton of different things in Xcode. It would take me probably 8 videos to walk through absolutely everything. But first and foremost is what we're trying to do is write an app. And so that's what this will be about. So let me show you our project. So when we get right here, our project is right here at the top. We have products. Products is just my app, no big deal. These guys right here are part of our files. So we'll start off with the info.plis file. So this product list file is, think of it as the configuration file. Okay, configuration file has information in here. So for example, the iOS app that I worked on for the attendance, I have a plist file, and this plist file is in this example, it's a API information. So it's the API information I use to connect to the Firebase, which is the environment I use for authentication and database, NoSQL, and so forth. So you could have information similar to that and have it stored here. And this is where we'll make some changes with our bundle. And this will be very important when you're pushing to the App Store as well. I'll kind of skip around a little bit here. This section right here is the app delegate. This is just already put in place, so this is not something that we have to make changes. There might be scenarios that we make changes on here, but for most of the stuff, this is all on default, so we don't have to do any changes. Scene delegate. This we won't be making many changes with. These are functions that are already here, but if we want to change the way that things happen, yes, like if you're doing gaming, we're going to be making changes here all the time. Our controller, yes, this is where we're going to make changes. If we add new controllers or new models or new views or whatever, that's kind of where we'll be making changes. Maybe more or less controllers and models versus a view. But we will do some programming in here as well. This right here is just a default, similar to Android. It's a utility that you import, which is the UI kit. It has a class, just like Java. Java has the public class. This one just starts off a class, straight to the point. You'll notice here you have no semicolons, so Swift does not use semicolons like the other language that we're using with Java and some other languages like JavaScript. Here now they don't use semicolons, so now you got to go back to going back to not writing semicolons. So you get used to this stuff. Right here is class, is you're describing what's the name of your class. This one right here is called view controller. Within Java, they use the word extends. Within this language, they use the colon, which means extends, and then extends one of these. This thing right here is this property called the UI view controller. So the UI view controller is a class that allows us to display stuff on the screen. Override function, just like in Android, it was like this, if you remember. So that's basically what that does. In Swift, you just write override function, and this right here is just automatically. It's just like what happens is when you go and click on an app icon in your phone, like you find something right now, you click on it and it pops up. Well, that's what this function does. It throws the view load in progress, and we'll talk about that. Launch screen storyboard. This launches our storyboard, so there'll be areas that we'll be using here, but mainly we'll be using the main storyboard. And I'll explain what that is here in a moment. Assets. This is, so if you ever see, when you go to look at your iPhone and you see the icon, whatever the image is, this is what they do is whoever develops the image, the GIF or JPEG or PNG file, whatever the case is, they come in here and they drop it in certain areas. So you see here where the pixels, the dimensions are different for iOS 7, 7 to 13. They used to have like 7, 8, 9. So they have changed it. In previous versions, they'll have like multiple ones. So they're saying that, hey, 7 through 13 are in the same dimensions. So right now they're not developing anything from previous. Yeah, so I see they're not going back 7th direction. Interesting. So anything before 7 is not here. So anyways, you put it on here and you'll see it'll be larger if you're doing the iPad, the App Store, and so forth. I'd see you have any questions, but you'll let me know. Storyboard, this is where it gets a little different. So this is your storyboard. This is similar to when you do the Android and we're using the XML and it pulls this up. This is it right here, and but it's a little bit different. And then you have your view controller. You have first responder. You have view controller goes down, brings over options just like Android Studio. So you have areas that you can add and do stuff. Like for example, if we wanted to create a new view, so say we wanted to create, I don't know, let's see here, view, which view do we want? So many, view controller. You could just drag and do something like this. And look at this, we have another screen that we can add to. And when we get into adding screens and how they consolidate and stuff like that, that's when it gets interesting. So let me see if I can actually pull up an existing project that I had that I was working on. Might be able to pull this one up. Let's see. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So you see how these screens are connected. So this is how you connect a screen by, and we'll show you how to do this by navigating control. It's just like by clicking on one thing and dragging it over. And that's what you do here. I'll minimize this a little bit so you can see a little bit more. So this is the app that I did for the one I pushed to the store for the attendance. So you sign up, and you come here and you just check in, similar to what it is there, but it's a little bit different. You see here with the assets. I don't think I have an icon. I didn't build an icon. Well, I did, but it's not in here yet. And then I have media information here. I have different controllers. So as you see here, I have a login controller that I'm using for the login authentication. I have one for the home view controller. So this is the main page. Not much happening here. This view controller has a lot of coding in here. So each one you see here, like my sign up controller, this is where people come in and sign up for an account. So a lot of this information is just in the controller itself. But if you notice, the app and the Scene Delegate don't have anything in it. And then the storyboard, as I mentioned. So there's a lot of cool stuff here, and that's what we're gonna learn about the basics today. We're not gonna learn how to do all this. But let me close this out. Oops. Didn't care about closing it out. Wanted to close it, not hide it. All right. Cool. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a idea of this. All right, guys. So within this right here, we just have our screen right here, and so we're just gonna follow the directions of our assignment this week. Which, let me find it real quick. It's right here. Week 1 assigned for, we did Android Xcode. Change the background color of your choice. Create a button no action event. Add an image of your choice. And check your project into repo. All right, cool. We could do that. All right, so first and foremost, once you click on it, if you don't have anything to click, this is not showing up here. If you click on this, then you have your inspector. This is called inspector attributes, and you could do different things here. So right now our background is white. So let's say that we wanted to change it. You could change any of these colors here. You could do custom. You could go back to that website that we did, color.co, and put something in there. So if I wanted it to do that, so if I wanted to go over to color, there we go, and see, I wanted to just choose something that had a nice blend I really liked. I like this right here. I can easily copy it, click here, paste it. It might even be easier than Android. Boom, I have my background. You could even come in here and you could choose something else. Let's say that you're feeling like the yellow or the greenish thing. You could do that. Actually, why didn't it do that? Oh, you have to change it. See, you could do this. You could do it all day long. You could even come in here and do something. Maybe you like yellow, maybe something like that. But I'm gonna go back to that one that I had. You want to go to the sliders to do it, even though it's dark, but whatever. So there you go. You have a background color. You can choose whatever you want to choose, which is nice. I'd like to see any questions, but can't at this moment. So anyways, so you have options over here, which allows you to do that. What else? We need to add some text to our screen. So how do we do that? So you see this button up here with the plus? This allows us to add objects into our screen, similar to Android. Android has everything to the side, but it has it hidden. It used to have everything where it was visible as well. So I could come in here, you have all these different options. You have a label, you have button, you have text field. So the things are a little bit different. In this case, I'm going to choose a label. So I'm just going to click on it and drag it somewhere on the screen. So once I do that, you notice we have a bunch of different options here. First of all, the color of it. So I'm going to choose white because I can't see it with choosing the color I did. You could do your alignment. We already have it centered. You could choose, well, the text is plain. What else can we choose? We can increase the font, which I'm going to do that. Something like that. You could choose, what else? Oops. You could choose a fixed font. Second. Let me find what else we could do here. Trying to find, all right, so label. Obviously we can change the value of this around too. You could call something like right here, you go in there and say, hello everyone. Changes the text around. There's other ways of doing it as well. If you click on this right here, it'll bring up, say you wanted to do bold or something different, you could do it there. You could change the, if you want it to be caption, you could do caption, it's kind of small. If you want it to do title, it's a little bit bigger. I'm just gonna do what I had, system, and I'm gonna change my thing to this. I'm gonna go back to bold because that's what I want. You can go to custom. Custom allows you to choose any text that you want. So if you want to go with something like this and make it look fancy, you can. But it doesn't have a bold option for it. I'm gonna go with something snappy, something cool, like chalk duster. It looks cool to me. I like that. I want it to be bigger. Why do we got bold for it, but they don't? Cool. That looks neat. So I have that going for me. What else do I want to do here? We wanted to add an image. Well, before we do that, let's show you how to run it. So in order to run it, you click the play button, just like Android. You could choose what version you want to run on. So you don't have to set up your emulators here. They're already set up for you. Now you could add additional simulators. And so you could go through here if you wanted something for Apple TV, you can, whatever. But for what I'm doing, I don't have to do any of that. I could just run it. So I guess I do need to download the 12 and 13. I don't have them in here. But for whatever, if I have my phone attached, it would come up here. And if you attach your phone by USB-C or USB, whatever you have, what type of computer you have, it will pop up and run. Okay, so let me get on your phone. So I'm going to again hit play. We'll try that in class. All right, so it is over here. Okay, where's our app at? Huh. There it is. Just took a while to come up. Hello, everyone. This is the one I actually developed, actually changed around. This is a game I developed in iOS. It is on its way to the App Store. Free game. I used the Game Center, but I want to cancel that. But it's called One Eye Hero. You create a like a bar, and you go from place to place till you die. And then I die. And there's a bug in it because it should have allowed us to do something else. Anyways, yeah, I tried to create Tinder clone too. I was messing around with that, trying to come up with my own Tinder. All right, so hello everyone. Um, I have this right here, so we know that it runs. So that's good. You don't have to stop because the simulator is just out there floating around. So we want to add an image. So everything that you want to add, you start here. So I'm gonna click here, and I'm just gonna type in image, and image view comes up. So I'm gonna drag. I should have showed you something that I forgot to show you. So, all right, my computer's crapping out on me here. All right, let me delete this and show you what I want to show you. So you know how like in Android we did our constraints. So we should have a constraint here, and I didn't show that to you. So what you do is in this case right here, we click on our label. We come down to the bottom right here, click on it, and what you do is you could put your ratios if you want to put certain areas where you want them to live at. So if I do that, it's going to build a constraint here. If I do that constraint there, that constraint there, and here, but since I have it at the top, I'm just going to leave it right here. And I could do add constraints. See right there, it does it for me automatically. Android, you drag and drop, and it does the same thing. So let me again add the image. I meant to show you that, and I forgot to. And so I know that those who don't have a Mac in the class won't be able to do this but like I said, I put a request in to have the Xcode installed. Once it's installed, I'll give you guys a heads up, and I'll also get it installed on one of the computers outside of the lab, so that you could probably identify one of those computers and go play around with it. All right, so we have this image in here. So we want to do the same thing with image. I'm going to come down to constraint, build a constraint on the left side, bottom side, right side, add constraints. Perfect. And so I can put my image anywhere. I'll put it right here. All right, excellent. Hello, everyone. All right, what else I want to have here? We have our image properties, which are over to my right here. And let's see what we're looking for. Oops. So you could put like choose one of these custom images, which are like a icon of some sort. But that's not what we want to do. We want to actually put an image there. So let's go get something to put there. So I'm gonna go find myself an image. I'm gonna grab my, oops, what's going on there? And let me see if I can find one of my photographs I can use. Something's crazy. All right, I like this pic right here. So let me do a screenshot of it. All right, so start in my downloads folder. All right, cool. So I have that. So next thing I need to do is add my images to my assets. So you want to keep images in here. So let me go and grab my photograph. Where is it at? Okay, and I'll just throw it right here. There's our image. You could do second, third, make it bigger, whatever. So now we have our image over here. So let me go back to my storyboard. Oops. Click on image. and you see one shows up in here. Now you see it's kind of crazy. So you can change the width of it, the height of it a little bit. Oops. So I don't know how that's going to work. I wonder if it's going to go up there. Because we didn't put a constraint there. I'm curious. Let's run this real quick and see if that's what's going to happen. Yeah, see, we didn't put no constraint on it, and I think that's the problem. So let's do this. Let's see if that fixes it. Stop that. Run it. Alright, so we have some other issue going on because now our text at the top here has also disappeared. Beautiful. So let's see what the heck's happening. So let's see. Aspect. Do we want aspect fits? We do. Let's do it over here. I'm going to Control Z back. Do this over and see what is going on. I want to choose my image and I chose Y. Something I didn't do right here. I'm trying to figure out what that is. Sorry. Let's see if this fixes it. I don't think it will. Yeah, what did I do? I have something checked up here. Maybe it's over here. I have to do it. I'm trying to remember. Bear with me, please. Let's see, constraints. What I had wrong. I had my constraints. And as you see here, I didn't put a constraint to the bottom. So I added a constraint to the bottom. If you remember, I just had it here, here, and here. So that was the reason when I put the image, it was just going down there and it was hiding it up. So if I come back here and add the image, well, let's run this. I'll show you what I mean. It works fine, which it worked fine before. No problem. But now if I go and do the image, yeah. And so just right here, just like this for now. And I come over here and choose my image. You notice that it doesn't go all over the place. So if I run this like this, it should work fine. See, it worked fine because we have this constraint. Now, I could come out here, stop this. I can come out here and make this a lot bigger, but it's only going to make that bigger. And it gives it a, we chose, actually, let me see something. I chose a aspect effect. You can do some of these different options here. It would just fill everything. You could do a redraw. It gets a little fuzzy. Aspect fit gives a right fit that fits the screen perfect. So there we go. Hello everyone, and we have our little wine bottle. That's it. Now, if we wanted to add a button, we can show you how to add a button. We're not going to add any action events with it, but I could just click on the button. And on the button here, you come up to the text. We could change it and say submit. Probably want to do something different instead of blue on blue, maybe white. Maybe you want to go into the font, make it bold. Maybe you want to change the font around it as well. Go to custom and choose a specific font for it as well. Maybe you want to make it bigger. What else? You have the submit button. Maybe you want to, let's see, change the background. That would be awful right there, because that wouldn't be right. Maybe you want to add a pencil in the middle like that. You can if you want. Add a calendar. I'll add it in there. I'm going to undo that because that looks terrible. What else? See, you get my idea. You could add just about anything you want to. Let's say that we wanted to add some type of background here. Let's say red. Oops. Oh, wouldn't let me do it. Let's do yellow. That don't look so great. Blue and blue don't look so great either, but it doesn't look too bad. Something like that. So, I don't know if that looks so great. But nonetheless, you get my gist. Now you want to have a constraint on this for sure. So we'll say boom, 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 boom. You could change the constraints of where they're located. But for now, we'll just do that. Oh, we didn't see that wasn't good. So let's edit undo. Let's see what happens when we run this. See, it's a lot of playing around with this at first, so you get used to doing. See, that wasn't a good idea because I built the constraint over top of that, and it overwrote that, so that was bad. So I should have just did like that. Let's see. Yeah, so that's better. You have a submit button. Nothing fancy, but you have a submit button. So when we start developing the app for the home family house, I'll throw some ideas out there. We'll just come up with some practice things that we can do and what we can't do. But next week or next lesson, we'll learn how to do something similar, do a create submit button and do something, an action event. We'll do something here. We'll talk about how to add digital pages and actually add some programming code behind it for the most part. But right here, I didn't have to add any coding. It just was this straightforward. All right, guys. If you follow these lessons, your homework assignment will be a piece of cake. So do something different than I did. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.